Hi, my name is Donald McGavro, and I'm a member of the Alfred State College team. And this is our solution for the Lummi Nation Reservation District use case. So our team consists of 10 undergraduate students who major in electrical engineering, computer engineering, and mechatronics. Many of us are second-year students, and we took on this project in our alternative energy generation course. So many of us had very little knowledge about PVs before we got into this project. Oh, I'm sorry. We designated 4 groups that would have their own objectives, while they also had to work with the other groups in order to fit the finished product into the project constraints.
For the location of the photovoltaic system that we chose is the community building parking lot. The modules will be laid out into 3 sections as depicted onto the screen. We were unable to utilize the 4th row of parking spaces due to budget limitations.
All right, so for the battery storage, the system would essentially serve as an outage ride through to essential facilities like the Wexleyan building, the Elder Home, and the sewage treatment plant. All systems would need to be powered for at least 4 hours. In order to provide this power for these facilities for the time, it would require about 6,944 amp hours. And for this reason, we decided to use a deep cycle sealed AGM battery called the Outback Power Energy Cell 1000 XLC high capacity battery. This is found from the Alti store online. It would provide 48 volts, 1220 amp hour output, and would cost around $20,400 a piece. To meet the requirements of the emergency facilities, we would need at least 6 of the batteries to put the total battery system to at least $122,400. And for the battery location for the system design, it would be located in this parking lot off to the side. We decided that having it close would be the best possible location. And with this, we'd have 6 batteries in series next to the community building parking lot. The solar panel we chose for this is the SunPower, the SPR E20445. We chose it for its efficiency as well as its cost. And as I said before in the previous slide, we weren't able to fit all 4 rows due to our cost constraints.
So for the distribution team, our primary concerns were making sure we didn't overvolt the distribution network, and we had to stay within the 5% threshold for the per unit voltage while also supplying power to each load. So from OpenDSS, we were able to get the per unit voltage graph after we installed the photovoltaics, and as you can see, we remained within the threshold. We're at about 1.25 and then dropped a little below that, but stayed within the ranges. And we also reduced our overall voltage losses. And so here is the map for our initial power flow. It started with nothing, and then after the PV array was installed, you can see that the power went from the right side up and out. We were unsuccessful at supplying power to all of the locations that were needed. We were able to supply power to the areas around the community center, which the PVs were located. Our total annual energy generation was around 730,000 kilowatt hours. And our total active losses after the PV was installed was 1.907%.
So our development slides are not here for some reason, but for land development, we just had to follow the laws of the Lummi Nation. Because it is a tribal government, they have some, they're semi-autonomous. They have their own land development form that you have to fill out. And the parking lot falls under mixed use because it would still be used as a parking lot. The photovoltaic modules would be mounted above. Well, the parking lot that had the parking lot has an area of 3,420 square meters, or 34,875 square feet, and this falls under the commercial or industrial use of the illumination. There would be no rezoning necessary, and it follows all Whatcom County and Washington state laws as well as federal laws. And as for our financial, that'll be in our next presenter.
All right. So I'm Jack. I was part of the distribution team. Unfortunately, Alex, he was the one who worked on the financial. He can't be here today, so I'll try my best to relay the information that he provided me. For this project, the budget was actually stated to be around $1 million total. So when we did the original rough estimate for the array, it was approximately $400,000. This was before we considered the cost of leasing the area for the use and any license fees. So it was a lot more of a rough estimate, and this is what we did in our first month. This did include the prices for each of the photovoltaics as well. So, yep. As said prior, each battery costs around $20,400, and with the 6 batteries, the total came to $122,400. These batteries were chosen obviously because the life expectancy averages were around 17 years, which fits within the requirements of this. The total cost of the entire system we calculated to be around $637,984. This number is also before calculating any of the following costs, such as B&O tax, utility distribution taxes, and any other taxes that could have been included within this project. The taxes and rates that I found are the following: general/distribution of the power rate was 0.038734. 2.14% of the gross revenue of the sale power was also in that, and a 5.35% of the first 4 mils per kilowatt hour of both revenues generated, and the wholesale value of the self-generated energy. That was all we focused on for the financial, for the goals and everything we had about it. So yeah, that's it. Any questions?